Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the 2-Bit Cipher channel. It's your boy D Brown. First of all, again, thanks for the likes, shares, follows. Please continue to keep that up. I appreciate it. This video here is a spinoff from the Parenting Gamers podcast. I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on protecting your child online. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to drop 5 simple tips that you can do to hopefully mitigate the risks that come along with online gaming. So without further ado, let's get into it. Tip number 1, and this is absolutely the most important thing that you can do, in my opinion: communication. Communication is key when it comes to gaming, being online, and protection. You can ask just simple questions about what will you be doing, right? So, get a list of things that your child will be doing, write them down, periodically check, in on them just to make sure that, they stay on task. You can also ask, who will you be playing with? I think that that's important as well, just to find out, who you're going to be playing with, because in the online gaming world, you're going to run into pretty much anybody. Now, whether you continue to play with them or not, that's their choice. But I think it's important for you to, at least ask who you're going to be playing with, and then periodically check in on that as well. If there's anybody new, or if something, seems off, you can ask, who is this, or, such and such. So I think that that's really important to go along with the communication. I think, establishing an agreement is also important. If you both can sit down, talk to each other, agree on the parameters that you guys have, and then go from there. Again, it's pretty much just about, checking in every now and then, just seeing what's going on. You agree to something, I agree to something. Let's see where we're at with this agreement. And then, you can go from there. But, communication is extremely important when it comes to online gaming. That way, what's going on, you stay in the loop. Your kid, hopefully is aware of, what's going on and the dangers. And you can also go into explaining what some of those dangers are. Obviously you have, predators out there. You have, websites that obviously you don't want your child to visit, things like that. So you can, definitely speak on that and then go from there. But from any type of gaming standpoint with your children, communication is key. Number 2 on the list, game selection. Game selection is the next step into easing parents' minds when it comes to online gaming or gaming in general. Each game comes with a rating. And the ratings range from everyone to teen to adult. So I think that it's very important to sit down with your child and have a conversation about which games are appropriate. And this kind of goes back to my first segment, which is communication. Sitting down, and if you guys both can sit down and determine, okay, we're only going to pick games that are for everyone and 10 plus and down, right? So no other games are going to be purchased. So we're not going to get the mature games. We're not going to get the adults only games. So, I think setting that parameter in regards to game selection is very important. And then, like I said, it'll definitely ease your mind. If your child is selecting games that are rated everyone or ages 10 and below, you can pretty much be comfortable with your child playing that game. And you also, kind of a side note, I would also pick games that fit your child's personality as well. I wouldn't want my child playing a game that, influences something that my child isn't, which, might get overlooked, but I think that it's very important. So game selection, number 2, very important. Tip number 3, very important: setting limits on the amount of time that they can game. I believe that a lot of the problems and the issues come from not setting a baseline initially with how much time your child can game. I believe that, a lot of times the child just has free reign to game initially, right? And then once problems come up, there was no baseline set. So now you have an issue. So establishing a set baseline right away, even before your child games, I believe is very important. If it happens to be an hour a day, 5 hours on the weekend, I would keep it at that. Secondly, I would also adjust that baseline accordingly. I wouldn't want my child to start, failing in school, for example, and then keep that same baseline. I would definitely adjust that baseline and or take it away. And again, this goes back to communication. You and your child sit down, have a conversation. This is the baseline, and this baseline is subject to change, right? I think that that's very important. At least your child knows at the very beginning that this isn't guaranteed. It's not an hour a day forever. No, this thing can change based on how you behave, based on what other factors you choose, but definitely setting a baseline is very important. Number 4, very important. This is actually more for the parents and not the children. Do not give them the authorization to make purchases on your behalf. In the gaming world, we call these microtransactions, which are little in-game transactions that you can purchase content for the game. They come in all different flavors: $1, $5, $10, $20 on up, and they will add up fast, and they're very, very addicting, if you will. I mean, obviously they're created for a reason, and that reason is to get extra money from that game. It's something as little as just a costume that your character can wear. It's going to run you $5 to $10, but then they're going to continue to drop more and more costumes, and you're looking at $100 over 2 weeks, and they add up fast. I wouldn't put the business card as the card on file to make, transactions or purchases or anything like that. I would set up an account separate for this purpose and not really even put any money on it. So that way, even if your child is slick, gets around it, tries to make a purchase, they can't. I would definitely make them come to you for any purchases. Last but not least, keeping track of what your child does online. Now, each device, whether it be a phone, tablet, computer, console, comes with the ability to track the activity. You can also monitor the websites that your child is visiting as well. You can check the browser history, get an idea. I would definitely check it, few times a month or so. There's all types of online resources on how to do so, how to check the logs. You can even block websites on your home network. Again, just a simple Google search can help you out there. Or better yet, I might know an IT guy who happens to run his own company who can help you out. Anyway, keeping track of what your child does online is very important because you might not be able to be there all the time, but those logs are. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Those are just some of the tips that I recommend. Obviously, definitely you don't have to do any of those. Those are just some suggestions that I recommend. If you like this video, please share it. Please subscribe to the channel. Please keep it going. Thanks for watching.